Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pirate Radio. I am your host who needs no introduction whatsoever, and welcome to the first annual, at least for the royal we, if you will, the first annual airing of Grievances in celebration of the beloved festival known as Festivus. If you're not familiar with Festivus, you need to rectify that post haste. So the idea here is I'm just going to bitch about stuff for about the next hour, and you're going to hopefully listen, and that's how this works. So, without further ado, let's just get into the list, shall we? And actually, I think, well, let's see here. Yeah, so I have a list of things that I wrote down, well, typed, printed, then wrote down some of them. And there are things that really just kind of bother me. Um, let's just start off. I don't know how many I have here, 20 or so. I don't really have a particular order, so we'll just bounce around. I guess why not start out on a high note and talk about, get the, feel free to jump in the chat, everybody. Let's just start off on a high note and talk about Ben Shapiro and the problem I have with Ben Shapiro and the fact that apparently, I guess he got like a contact high from all of the wokeness he always consistently complained about and the things he didn't like. And I realized, yes, I'm doing the Ben Shapiro head right now. The only reason I know about Ibram X. Kendi is because of Ben Shapiro and all of the things that he always used to say about Ibram X. Kendi. If you're not familiar with Mr. Henry Rogers, or Ibram X. Kendi, as he is, I guess, professionally known, he's wrote a few books, but he wrote a book in, I think, 2019 called How to Be an Anti-Racist. And basically the crux of that book, from what I understand, didn't read it, not going to read it. It's kind of garbage from the get-go. Instead of like being, kind to your fellow man and just not being a racist, the crux of that book is if you're not actively fighting racism, then you're participating in racism by proxy. It's the whole institutional racism. It's the, what do they call it? The previous grievances, things of that nature. And Ben Shapiro is doing exactly the same right now. So basically, if you're not actively promoting Zionism, you are an anti-Semite in his eyes. That's nonsense. It's ridiculous. It's anti-American. It's all of the things that he said about the people on the left and all of the woke folk in the world. And that will lead me into the next one, which actually was above him. The censorship and woke nonsense. These two basically blend together. You have Ben Shapiro at a TPUSA event a few 3 days ago, whatever it was pre-Christmas, which he doesn't celebrate. That's a whole other subject. Anyway, that was pre-Christmas, where he got up there and basically said that if you're not actively putting down and condemning Candace Owens or Nick Fuentes or anyone else that he lists, which is the other part, you list out these grievances, and if you don't follow along with the grievances and denounce them, then you are, by proxy, you agree with said grievance, whether it's race or Zionism or whatever. It's just the same tactic. But basically, if you're not actively trying to, like, I don't know, cancel those people or throw them into the, proverbial forest or something like that, then you are, I don't know, you're just as bad as them. Yeah, I'm fucking with the producing here, guys. Bear with me. Anyway, so that's fun. I cannot stand any sort of censorship. I cannot stand any sort of I remember being a kid and I grew up in Oklahoma, so we didn't have access to, back when you said something like, I don't have access to, like that literally meant you didn't have access to, like it might as well not exist because you couldn't get it. It's unobtainium, like pre-internet, all of that. Not like when idiots say that minorities don't have access to bank accounts. It's like, no, they have access to bank accounts. They just don't use banks or can't or have besmirched them and the bank won't use them. Anyway, um, but back when Howard Stern was like the forefront of media and the shock jock, I guess he created the whole shock jock, or at least made it super, super famous and pay well. Um, I remember people talking about you would hear about Howard Stern, but you couldn't actually hear Howard Stern. It's a weird time when you think about it. And no one, of course, would play his stuff on like the news because it was so offensive and whatnot and all the bullshit. But it was like people would always talk about he needs to be taken off the air because the things he says and this, that, or the other. And what if kids hear it, which is still something that grown adults stupidly say to this day about things. And it's like, well, you don't have to listen. There's that. You don't have to turn the radio on. You don't have to be like, it's not like it's pumped into your house every day at 4 p.m. or something. Like it's, it doesn't wake you up. It's not like Howard Stern got together with like the fire alarm manufacturers and every day at 3 a.m. in the morning, they play like the raunchiest thing that Howard Stern did the week before or the previous day or something like that. It's just so asinine. So this whole censorship bullshit. You can go back to like Two Live Crew and their album being banned. It's like these are like archaic times when you think about it in regards to the internet. But at the time, it was like we have to protect the kids. What if they just go and buy it? And it's like, well, where did they get the money? And then where did you get a CD player and all of that stuff and whatnot? And it's like, well, the idea of banning a CD. First of all, it's counterproductive because the second in folks of my generation and previous generations, or one, like Gen X, even some of the like late bloomers, and of course I'm a millennial, will remember when they started putting the warning labels on CDs and cassettes. Yes, cassettes were a thing that were, explicit content, explicit lyrics, and it's like, woo, that's the one you got to buy. So it kind of backfired on them all the way around. Wasn't Howard Stern on TV? Yeah, Howard Stern was on TV, but that came like way later. He was already the phenomenon, and then it aired late on television. The weird thing about Howard Stern is like he was on in the morning doing all kinds of crazy things. I mean, that I guess that's when the most people would listen, but anyway. But now Howard Stern has gone completely woke and censorious, which is hilarious. It would be hilarious if it wasn't so sad. But it's funny that a guy who made his career off of pushing the envelope, riding that razor's edge, and being very, 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 yeah, he was offensive, sure, if you get offended. But like, you know, now he's like, you have to do all of these things, and if you don't, how dare you? It's just crazy what to do when you become the man, the old Adam Carolla saying. What do you do when you become the man? But anyway, I can't stand censorship. I can't stand it at all. You shouldn't. Now, that's not to say if you're in a specific setting, you shouldn't maybe, not say a certain thing and maybe you self-censor, Maybe don't get in front of your like religious grandmother and start cursing like a sailor, Or if you go to someone's home, you act as they act and you do the things they do, and then you just mirror off of that. It's not hard to be a human being. It's really not. You don't always have to be an asshole. Yes, I know. I understand. I get it. Let's move on to another one that's sure to piss off people. Um, the movie It's a Wonderful Life is absolutely terrible. I cannot stand it. Never have been able to stand it. I don't understand why people like it. It has not held up well, and that's assuming that it ever was good. I would like to think that if there was any other movie you could have possibly seen back in the day, you would have seen it, because I guess this is kind of a twofer. Jimmy Stewart is a terrible actor. I cannot stand the way he talks. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. And I understand the acting back then was not like what acting became and this, that, or the other, I guess. I don't know. I don't get it. The movie's terrible. I don't like it. Um, I hate it. I hate the movie It's a Wonderful Life. I'm sorry. And the people who are like, "Oh, it's so good. I just love it." It's like I maybe this was passed down generationally to you from your parents or grandparents or something like that, but there are so many better Christmas movies. And no, you don't have to like the best one known as Christmas Vacation. You can like Home Alone, Die Hard, Rambo, Bad Santa, A Christmas Story's pretty good. It's kind of nostalgic. And there's some, the thing about like what makes a good Christmas movie, and Elf, by the way, is not a good Christmas movie either. Elf is pretty terrible. I don't understand why people like Elf. It's just not believable at all. And I'm a guy who really likes Will Ferrell. Step Brothers is a masterpiece, but like among many other movies that he did, Elf is by far one of his worst. But why it's like celebrated, I don't know. Like you're able to not like it and also still like little people or midgets. Like you can not like Elf. It's okay, guys. Um, you know, I don't know. Let's see here. I don't know. Not a fan. Just like I'm not a fan of pumpkin pie. I've been over this one before. For some reason, pumpkin pie likes to rear its ugly, nasty little head at Christmases as well, and it's terrible. And the people who like it, I don't even know what to say about you. That hasn't already been said, and that you already know. I mean, pecan pie is far superior. I don't understand. You know, is there a restaurant on planet Earth that serves like pumpkin pie outside of like when it's in season or something. Like it's not even made out of pumpkins. I, Jesus Christ! How pissed would you be if you ordered an apple pie and there were no apple in it? That's the other part is the people who like pumpkin pie. You're just like you were just the OGs of the pumpkin spice like phenomenon that Starbucks has perpetuated. So like you started that, you know. So there you go. That's on you. Take it to your grave. Terrible. 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 That's terrible. I'm also not a fan of alcohol-free Christmas parties. Listen, no one needs alcohol to have a good time. But the thing is like when you have a Christmas party, especially like a work Christmas party, you need like a social lubricant. And by the way, it's always funny when someone gets too drunk and throws up and makes a fool of themselves. Like that's what creates a memorable, like especially work Christmas party or any Christmas party. I mean, it just makes everything a little bit better sometimes, I guess. Anyway, um, I really don't like fake holidays either. And I'm not talking about like Valentine's Day. I'm talking about Kwanzaa. Like, I had always heard about Kwanzaa. I didn't really know what it was about. To me, it was always more of a punchline in a comedy or a movie. Like it's just a punchline, comedic punchline. Apparently, that's a thing. Um, and Kwanzaa is just like the celebration of black. No, excuse me. Kwanzaa is a celebration of African American culture. Stop me if you hear the problem with this. Like, so does that mean like Muslims are practicing Kwanzaa? Is Elon Musk? Is he a Kwanzanian, Kwanzaa supporter? It's so funny because it just it goes on the same thing of like calling every black person in America African American is like, well, no, because you're not from Africa. And that's before we get into the whole hyphenated Americans debate or discussion. So to label everything as like African American, there are white African Americans, and there's a lot of them, like actual African Americans who came here, immigrated from, born in Africa, from generations of other whites in Africa that came to America who are technically, if you had to get like really specific, you would say they are an African American, to which most of them would just say, no, 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 I'm an American. But then you go and say, like, you know, stop with all of this, guys. This is why the whole language thing kind of really matters, because there needs to be specificity on things. It's not that we need to know who you are and where you're from and all of that, but it's like you're not an African American if you were born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and your skin happens to be really, really dark. You have nothing in common with anyone from Africa. That's like saying I'm a Caucasian. I am not Caucasian. I'm fucking white. I'm not from the Caucasus Mountains. I'm not a Slavic. That is retarded. I'm not Caucasian. I'm fucking white, pale, whatever you want to call it. But I ain't Caucasian. Okay? It's just so dumb. And then you create this entire fake holiday around a fake group of people that don't represent the group you say they represent. It's just crazy to me. It's so fucking funny though to see it and to like look at it, and it's like you should find someone that you know who celebrates Kwanzaa and just call them a retard. Just do that. Just do that. Some of these I'm not going to get. Some of these kind of like repeat here. Just went on a crazy thing here. So I wrote pop country shit. It's kind of like a, I don't know, redundant. But what's up with pop country? What is this shit? And why am I ever exposed to this like kind of rappy, kind of country-y, you know, abortion that for some reason has made it to the radio and into somewhat mainstream? Like, I'm not a huge fan of modern country in general. There's some of the stuff where you're like, okay, that's all right. Most of it sounds the same. The vast majority of it is overproduced. A lot of the female singers sound almost exactly the same. Most of the male singers sound exactly the same. Just one has a redneck accent and one kind of doesn't, or thicker redneck accent. But it's like, this pop country shit, who signed off on this? Even the people who like country, like, did you sign off on this? I don't think you signed off on this. It's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. There will be no examples given, Merc. You can just get to look that up on your own. Put that in your algorithm. It is god awful. I can't believe it's actually like someone invested money into this. Some other idiot invested their time. It is so bad. So bad. I'm doing you a favor by not giving you an example, Merc. And this leads me into just modern music in general. Like, I keep asking people younger than me, and I don't want to be the old man, you know, yells at clouds or back in my day, all of that crap about my music's better than yours and this, that, or the other, because I don't really believe that, because I grew up in the grunge and alternative era, and I don't think that that's better than like the 80s, like thrash metal and speed metal, and like the 70s like rock and southern rock stuff, and all of that, like, and you know, new wave British heavy metal. Like, I don't think that any of my, what would be considered my music, is better than any of that came before it. So to think that anything that came after it, my music's going to just be so much better than, like, yeah, you grow up on the Nirvana and Soundgarden, Smashing Pumpkins, Alice in Chains, you know, Rage Against the Machine, God rest their beautiful souls on that crap, the Metallicas, Avenged Sevenfolds, you know, any, you know, White Zombie was a big one, even before Rob Zombie, obviously, if you know what I'm talking about. But even some of the rap stuff, you know, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Kid Rock came along later. Yeah, I even like Limp Bizkit and Korn and all of that stuff. And it's just like, you have this varying degree of stuff that you like. The Reverend Horton Heat, some of the psychobilly, rockabilly stuff was really, really cool. Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on and on here, but like, what the hell are kids listening to today? It's all just sounds like robot music. I don't understand. It's like auto-tuned with like the EDM stuff. That's another thing. The whole like EDM electronic music is fucking terrible. It was terrible when Moby did it, and everyone that's going beyond that and doing that crap now, I'm like, oh, it's the DJ and I feel the beat. You're retarded. You're fucking retarded. Okay? EDM's terrible. It sucks. You have to be high to think that that sounds good. You have to. You absolutely have to, because you're just filling the beats. Like, and it's terrible. It's worse than reggae. Reggae is one of the worst forms of quote unquote music ever created. Like Bob Marley sucks. Sorry. Bob Marley's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. Just get the beat and repeat, man. That's all it is. It's horrible stuff. Horrible. So bad, God struck him with cancer to make it go away. That's how bad it was. Terrible stuff. So I don't know what kids today, the young people, are even listening to. I have no clue. It's all just terrible. And no, I'm not falling on the Nicki Minaj bandwagon of conservatism, by the way, which leads me into conservatives as a whole. You guys have lost the plot. I am so sick of people who say, I'm a conservative. You ain't conserving shit. You don't have a clue what you're talking about. All you're doing is like baby steps as the left and the crazy liberals are just in a full-out sprint. You'll get there eventually. You're just going to get there later. That's all it is. You're engaging in exactly, it's like what I talked about earlier with Ben Shapiro. You're engaging in the same tactics that you said 2 and 3 years ago that you were horribly morally against, and how dare they, and they this, and I can't believe this, and I can't believe that, and you're doing the exact same thing. It's like some sort of like ritualistic kind of like, I don't even know. It's like a ritualistic, euphemistic human sacrifice or something. It's some sort of like, you must worship at our feet, or it's this like purity test where no one is ever pure enough for the new thing or the new cause or the this, that, or the other. And then you have all these other people who are just clicking their heels, getting in line, and basically raising a right hand. I probably should have grabbed the tweet or whatever, but some of you know that I basically made Seth Dillon look like a moron 3 days ago because he posted something that was so stupid. And like he didn't respond, but he deleted the tweet right after I posted. I was like one of the first people. I just happened to catch it. And I happened to be early on it, just happened to see it. And I was like the first or second post. And then it was gone after that, of how dumb he is. And this is supposed to be some sort of like conservative, hardcore conservative, pro-Zionism guy. And he's, he checks all of the boxes for the modern conservative person, the Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin people of the right wing, and the Dave Rubin, and he pals around with James Lindsay, and he's just so conservative. And it's like, you're an idiot. You don't really have an ideology. You'll hide behind like Christianity and say that, it's just, yes, you can quote verses of the Bible. That's great. That's good for you. But when it comes to like actually, having to defend a position based on like logic and reason and any sort of thing, you can't actually do that. You just talk in these like circular logic and platitudes of we should go back to conservative and we should conserve back to this and that. And like, I guess, I don't watch Timcast, but I see some of the clips, and I guess that, I forget the old guy's name, Tim whatever, Tim Pool. I guess he had him on with Aaron McIntyre and just destroyed Seth Dillon and kept pinning him down, and he couldn't fight his way out of paper sack, or couldn't argue his way out of paper sack. So conservatives as a whole, you guys are retarded. You lost the plot. Completely lost the plot. You're attacking Megyn Kelly at this point. Like, Fox News, Megyn Kelly. I know she's no longer with Fox News, but like, if Megyn Kelly is not a conservative voice, because she won't say that, she won't attack Candace Owens or something, it's like, you guys have lost the plot, and I want nothing to do with it. Nothing. I mean, you're worse than the Trump sycophants. Like, the Trump sycophants are just insane. Like, he can do no wrong. Well, that's bullshit. He's done a lot of wrong in his life. Like, you don't have to go the other. See, you're just two sides of the same coin. It's like one side is like he can never do anything right, and the other side is well, he can never do anything wrong. It's like, well, you're both wrong. You're both stupid. So it's just, one of you is stupid on this side, and one of you is stupid on that side. But you're both stupid. Neither of you is smart or intelligent or any sort of like based or moral or anything. You're just stupid. Both of you. Just two different kinds of stupid. I just don't understand you idiots. You know, it's like the people who apologize for the war machine. I know a lot of people who are really good on some varying issues when it comes to like actual liberty and freedom and things of that nature. And then it comes to like you start talking about the military, and I don't mean like members of the military, I mean like military action, and all of a sudden all of that fades away and they're like, yep, we gotta bomb Venezuela because Iran or something. And it's like, I'm sorry, what? Or we gotta bomb Iran because if they don't bomb them, they're gonna bomb us. And it's like, I don't think that's a thing, but whatever. And that, grifters is the other thing I wrote down. I totally get why grifters do the thing. At least they're making money. At least they're putting you together. You can say that Candace Owens is a grifter, and I don't know, maybe part of what she's doing is grifty. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't really consume her product, if you will. That sounded dirty as fuck. But I mean, I don't like, if you stop engaging with Candace Owens, like her grift like comes down if that's what she's doing. You understand this, right? Like, I'm not a computer programmer or any sort of code writer. I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm not going to act like I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to like the internet, but like I understand kind of basics of social media, and it's algorithmic in that. And YouTube is very, very, very heavy on this. Like, the reason every time you watch a YouTube video that a lot of them, and I don't do it on mine, and I don't like to do it because I think it's kind of very, it's low rent, as they used to say. But the reason people do like the like, comment, subscribe is because any interaction you get, and especially if you get all three of those, then you move up on like the feed. Your landing page, the home page of when you get on YouTube, you start to move up. So that's what going viral means, is that the more kind of clicks and interaction you get, the more it starts to show in front of more people, and it just explodes. You don't go viral by paying $35 to have your post land somewhere. I mean, you can get it to move up, that's fine, but really what's going to happen is like, if it's not catching people's attention, if you're not getting interactions other than like they're just seeing it in their feed, then it's not going to continue. It's not going to go viral. I like how I talk about this like I know exactly how to make something go viral. I guess I kind of do. I just don't engage in it a lot of the time. Just because I'm not a grifter yet. I mean, if Candace Owens is grifting, then she's doing very, very well at it, and she's elite level grifter. Do I believe the things she says? I don't know, because again, I don't take in her content. So there's that. This will be a hot one. I have a huge grievance with people who dislike prime rib. I don't understand how you cannot like a just seasoned, seared, cooked, beautiful chunk of meat, man. It's so good. Like, you do a prime rib, you put it in there, you let it go for however many hours, and you bring it out just a touch, you just kind of rare, maybe just a touch past rare. Cut that dude up, then you sear it. Oh, you can do a little au jus with the juice. I prefer a little horseradish, although cheat code, little bit of horseradish in the au jus. If you don't like prime rib, you're just like a vegan, right? or something, or you're like from a culture in which they just ate vegetables because that's all they had. I don't understand it. Even the people like, well, I don't like animal fat or I don't like the fatty pieces. Yeah, there's a whole chunk in the middle. There's no fat. It's just perfectly seasoned and cooked meat, bro. What are we doing here? Although I guess I can kind of come around and like, even though I don't understand you, like it's fine. Don't eat it. It's just more prime rib for me, and I can fucking destroy some prime rib. I haven't had a prime rib in a while. I need to. Leads me to tamales. You all know how I feel about that. Most overrated hunk of shit on planet Earth. I don't get it. Terrible. Terrible. Like, I guess they're not. I guess they're edible as long as you cover them with all the other good stuff. But really, my biggest point is like on the totem pole of Mexican food. At the top is going to be something like a badass burrito, and at the bottom, below like the tortilla chips, is going to be the tamales. So anyway. I guess nobody goes to the Mexican restaurant. I was like, man, we gotta go eat some Mexican so I can get some fucking tamales. Said no one ever. Hmm. So, vehicle pricing is another grievance I have. I don't understand the price of vehicles, why they're so high, and why there's not like a lower end version or something like that. Like you'll hear people will tell you, "Oh, well, cars cost so much more because there's so much tech in them now. Like they got sensors and cameras and this, that, or the other." And it's like, yeah, I understand what they have, but you understand that like I can go on Amazon right now and buy like a actual like camcorder with a battery for like less than $100, and the dude shoots in like 4K and it lasts for 5 hours on a battery charge, and you know so you're telling me that because this car has a rear backup camera, it now needs to be, instead of being $30,000, it now is going to cost $45,000 because it has one backup camera? Like, oh no, it has these sensors, and it's like, yeah, guys, tech over time means it gets cheaper. Just look at televisions. Let's see. You can get like a 50-inch flat screen television for somewhere in the neighborhood of like $250. Is it the 8K badass one on planet Earth? No. But it's a 50-inch television that's better than any television pre 2005. Period. And you hang it on the fucking wall if you want to. If you were to get a 27-inch tube television that weighed somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 to 500 pounds back in the 90s, that thing would have cost you like $400. And it's not a great picture, and they didn't last really that long. Well, they did last a long time, but they didn't fit anywhere. You had to have furniture to set it on, and you couldn't put it on the wall, and God help you if the thing fell on you, because you're probably not getting back up. So the idea that the vehicle costs so much money because of the tech that's in it is a lie. We're being lied to. I don't know why we're being lied to. Maybe it's because the fact that it's bought with money that doesn't really exist. When you finance it, you're just kind of creating some sort of wealth out of thin air because that money literally didn't exist, but you're on the hook to pay it back. Maybe that's part of it. But the idea that, like, when I worked in the car industry, car business, I should say, worked at dealerships, and you see invoices all the time. So let's take something like what do we want to take? Well, let's pick on Toyota a little bit. Let's take a Toyota Camry. That's stickered somewhere in the neighborhood of, let's say it's stickered right at $30,000. That invoice is going to be right at like 28,500, 29,000, let's say. So that vehicle on paper for the dealer, if they sell it at sticker, is going to make them $1,000 profit. Now, The idea that Toyota has 28,000, or excuse me, let's say it costs 29,000 on your invoice. The idea that Toyota has $29,000 invested in that is a lie. We all know it's a lie. They're making a profit. But how much of a profit do we think they're making? Because like a Camry is not like the tip of the spear of technology. And Toyota has many, many resources and spends a ton of time on understand. Toyota knows how to build a car. They know how to engineer a car. They know how to manufacture a car. They know how to ship a car. They know how to service a car. There's all different factors built into this, and I get it. But the idea that a Toyota Camry in 2025, let's say 2026, since we're a few days away, costs $15,000, $10,000 to $15,000 than it did in 2010 is insane. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. That doesn't make sense. It makes 0 sense whatsoever. So we're being lied to on that shit. I hope I wrote that out. This gets me. I'm going to play you a little video, kids. So I saw this ad, I think, on YouTube, which, by the way, the YouTube ad, anyway, I'll do the YouTube ads in a minute. I'm going to play you a video. This is a commercial from Ford. Share the screen. So this is a Ford Motor Company commercial. This is not necessarily a shot at Ford. It's not a shot at Ford, it's a shot at their marketing company. So, if you're not viewing this live or replay, I'm sorry, but...
Someone once said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right.
Okay. So the problem I have with that Ford ad is not about Ford. Again, it's not about Ford. There's two problems I have with that Ford ad. It's from their marketing company, okay? The problem I have with what the marketing company did there, and this is not, a Ford only problem, because they just hire a marketing company who does all this stuff for them. That's how you get, what's his name there, doing the voiceover, because he doesn't actually work for Ford. He works for a ad agency, and he does voiceover work. Anyway, can't remember his stupid name. Breaking Bad guy. Anyway, the problem I have with that ad, and anybody who knows anything about, like, cows, is that you saw that you had, first of all, they're driving like the highest in F-150 through a field at a high rate of speed. And they're driving it because they're trying to cut this cow off before it runs off the edge of this cliff on their property. Anybody know what the problem with that is? Cows won't run off the edge of a cliff. They won't. They absolutely won't. A horse will, but a cow won't. So you have people in an ad campaign, in an ad company, in a marketing company who have no clue even what they're doing. The other problem I have with that commercial is you have a Asian chick driving a Ford Bronco, full-size Bronco, along like a cliff edge or something, like they're going rock climbing. And there's no man on planet Earth, which she had a male passenger. There's no man on planet Earth riding with an Asian woman on the edge of a cliff. It's just not happening. So, yeah. There's that. But this leads into just ads in general that drive me insane. And I see it on YouTube all the time. If you watch enough like GunTube YouTube, I hate that term GunTube, but whatever, it is what it is. versus some other like more basically content that YouTube likes. YouTube hates guns. Everybody who watches that knows that. So what you get is they're trying to mix up the ads with what you're watching, so you the odds of you buying that product that falls, of the ad that's within the thing that you'll buy it. So like if you watch, some like home improvement stuff or building stuff, you get a lot of like Home Depot or other things like that. They used to do like the tactical flashlight stuff. Anyway, the point of this is you see these YouTube ads that have nothing to do with what I'm watching, and they're completely like they're getting worse and worse and worse. Of like, I'm not sure what's going on. Like, how much like travel comparison are people doing? Because like you have all these kayaks and maybe travel loss. I can't remember what they are because they're so ridiculous. And it's like, and then it's like, I'm getting ads for um, feminine products, like for the heavy flow days. And it's like, why would you show this to me? Like, I have my preferences set on YouTube of like, male, whatever age range, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I'm watching gun content, you idiots. Why would you possibly be showing this to me? You're just wasting your time. Or it's, we have this emu trying to sell insurance. That's the other thing. Is like, why is there an emu trying to sell me insurance? I don't understand that at all. Like, what does an emu have to do with insurance? You know, you have one of the better ad campaigns out there is the guy who plays Chaos or whatever. Um, I'm sure we've all seen that. It's like, I'm a mascot and I'm late for work, and if you have if you don't have whatever insurance, then this could be a problem for you. Like, that's a good ad campaign. Really is. I miss the Energizer Bunny too. I think somebody from Duracell had him whacked. But the Energizer Bunny it was a good ad campaign. It's got an Energizer, you know, battery on it and just keeps going and going and going and going. And like, I'm not sure when all this started to really like fall off, but we can all think of like ad campaigns from when we were younger or kids or something that were great. And I don't mean like, it's the new G.I. Joe toy. I mean like actual ad campaigns that were like Budweiser and Bud Light used to have really good ones. Miller Lite, beer commercials were like ubiquitous with just being like really cool, kind of pushing the edge of what was allowable on television for commercials. And I know that most of the folks listening to this can remember that the Super Bowl, it was hard to find a time to go pee because the commercials like were really, really good. And the commercials haven't been good for, man, I don't know. It's been a long time. The commercials are just trash. And it's not even like, yeah, there was a time when they became woke or whatever, but really they just sucked. I don't know when that peaked. But really, they're just terrible. And you see all this crap where they're like, and I get it. There's the commercials where it's like, well, the guy has to look dumb, and then the chick has to look smart, and this, that, or the other. And it's like, I get it, but it's like, I the commercials are just garbage. They're all garbage. Or 90% of them are garbage, or 99% of them are garbage. Like, it's like, and then you have the ones that are just weird, like the Old Spice commercials are just kind of weird. You have Saquon Barkley just like levitating in a bathroom with his full pads on, holding, I guess, holding the product. It's like, I don't, what, huh? Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. It's just weird. I don't remember the Sierra Mist ones. I remember the 7 Up. I think that was not Orlando Bloom. Oh, that's bad. I can't remember the guy's name. Orlando Brown, maybe. I don't know. There's too many Orlandos. But I remember the Make 7 Up Yours commercials. See, that was good commercials. Flow with Progressive. That Flow is a good one. The new one with their little sidekick dog park is hilarious. Um, Budweiser Frogs was a good one. Hell yeah, me and beer on the same one. Frozen. I don't remember that at all. Huh. I don't know. Drive a truck through chasing a bull. It's great beer. You would, but they won't allow you to like drive a truck with a beer because that's illegal or something. I don't know. But anyway, uh, it's it's just sad. It's like the music, you know, like what happened? Where did it go? Why did it get so bad? How did we get here? And I realize that's a really good song. How did we get here? It's not my beautiful wife. This is not my beautiful house. And the days go by. Was that the Talking Heads? Good song. Really good song. Oh, we're coming down to the last of it. Let's see. Oh, the boomers. You made the list because you guys are so terrible. The boomers are so terrible. You guys will suck, like, just soak up and believe anything so long as it goes along with what you thought before. You have the boomers who are like, you know, I don't believe these Epstein things. I think it's, and it's like, really? I get it. Like, Trump is, King Boomer. But it's just like, my God, man. If it wasn't for boomers, Facebook and cable news would be gone. Pretty much. Well, with Facebook, you could say scammers. But, like, so I guess you could put, like, the old Indians in there, dots, not feathers. But, like, there was all this hubbub about Cracker Barrel, and that's, Boomer Central. How they were changing this. They removed the cracker in the barrel from the logo, and they were changing the dining rooms, and they were going to change the menu, and this, that, or the other. And on Thanksgiving, I drive by Cracker Barrel, and you couldn't fit another car in there. And as I can, that was after I passed the billboard that had no, the billboard was after that. So I passed the Cracker Barrel. It is just chock full. You couldn't, good Lord. They were parking in the next parking lot over, frontage road and all of it. People just standing outside. And continue on down the same highway. Go by the billboard that's the new Cracker Barrel logo. No cracker, no barrel. Just says Cracker Barrel. Just a clean logo. So, yeah, all you boomers freaked out, and then you still went to Cracker Barrel anyway because you're all just full of shit. You've been full of shit forever. There's a couple good ones, but by and large, the boomer generation is just absolutely all about themselves. They'll throw a little hiss fit here and there. But when it comes to giving up anything, whether it's a meal, whether it's Social Security, whether it's anything that might inconvenience them in the slightest, they're willing to burn everyone else down around them for themselves. They've been that way from the start. They'll be that way till the day that they die. It's just how they are. Well, I guess we have to deal with it. I don't quite understand it, but maybe we just need to keep calling it out more. How bad the boomers are, especially the second wave boomers, like the anti-Vietnam boomers. There was a first gen that were basically like, probably holdovers from the last generation. They were pretty good. They went and fought in Vietnam. That was their war, and they were going to fight it to win it. They got sold out by their own. Again, it's the first time probably the boomers stabbed somebody in the back, and it was their own. So there you go. Second generation boomers, you're the worst, and I don't like you. Ooh, this has been a good one. Cults masquerading as religions. Looking at you, Islam. You're not a religion. You're a fucking cult, and you suck. Watch out for the goat or goats. Watch your backsides. That's a pretty simple one. Fuck Islam. New caliber fangirls. If you don't know what this means, there's the people that every time there's a new gun caliber that comes out, they got to jump all over them to buy this, that, and the other. Listen, I've gotten caught up in this before. I don't hate you. I'm not even making fun of you. I'm just pointing it out. Don't get caught up on the new caliber fan thing. Like, this 338 Magnum or whatever it is, and it's like, well, it does this, that, and the other, and this, blah, and better than 300 Blackout. It's like, hey, I pumped the brakes on 300 Blackout. Is it a solve-all caliber? Is it a do-all, solve-all caliber? No, but it has its place. You get a, 338 arc. What's What? You're just gonna burn through barrels. I don't understand what 338 arc does. That other, it's like, well, it's 300 blackout, but it's like moving faster. It's like, yeah, well, the whole point of 300 blackouts is you suppress it, and it doesn't sound like anything. You just hear your bolt cycle. Whether that's like in an AR platform or an actual like physical bolt gun, like that, just yeah. Then you have supers if you want to reach out and touch something, but you're just shooting subs with a can, so you don't hear anything. But now we're gonna have this like 338 arc that's louder than fuck. Get a real gun. I don't know what to tell you, man. Get an actual 30 caliber gun. It's a 308, baby. Let's go. At least like a 308 and in the larger caliber rifles like that, at least the rifle itself is built to withstand the pressures and the harshness of the bigger caliber. But if you're just jamming 338 ARC basically into an AR-15 and just upping the pressure, I don't think that works out in the long term for you, man. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I play one on TV. This is one that as I get older really bothers me. But as a kid would have been awesome, and that's multiple Christmases. Like, look, man, I'm wore out. I drive a lot for work. It's usually like 1 hour one way, maybe a little further one way. So you're looking at 2 to 2.5 hours on the road. And now I got to drive like all of these places. Like, I love living in the country. There is one downside if you're basically driving an hour to get anywhere. It's fine. I understood it when I got here. I'm not moving. Fuck you, I'll die here. God willing, anyway. It'll be a long time. But look, doing like 4 Christmases, I'm just there to eat and socialize. I'm not, presents to me, gifts are just like I got a lot of shit that I want, and like the shit that I do want, most people wouldn't know what to get or are afraid, and you should be afraid to get it because like as you get older, you get a little more particular taste and things of that nature. So I mean, it's just like gifts don't do it for me anymore. To me, it's like having 2 Thanksgivings, or like Thanksgiving happens twice in a year. Um, but the multiple Christmases, just I'm wore out, man. I still got one more to go. Merc, your Christmas gift, you missed it. It's when I called you out for not liking prime rib, and I don't understand it. Like here's your gift. Enjoy a good piece of prime rib. Just do it once. It's okay. It's not going to hurt you. It'll make you big and strong. That's what it'll do. Look at that. Because I pointed that out, B's going to send you a ham. The ham is in the mail. There you go. Delicious ham. Delicious ham. We talking spiral cut? What are we talking? Full bore? Let's see. I actually got through my list. So let's see what we can't come up with off the top of me head. Here's one. This has happened most of my life. Now it'll get fun. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's go. People talking shit on the NFL and about how they make too much money. It bothers the shit out of me. Bothers the shit out of me. Why does it bother the shit out of me? I never played in the NFL. Never really had a shot. I didn't have a shot, actually. It bothers me because people will say that NFL players are paid too much money. Okay, there might be one or two that are. But let me lay down this scenario on you. Okay? Let's say, think about your own job. Okay? And I'm sure we've all done this where usually it's like you're sick. You're not feeling very good. Maybe you got the flu coming on or something like that. Or whatever. And you go to work and you tough it out. Okay? We've all kind of been there, I would hope. Excuse me, that most of you have been there and done that. Maybe you've had like kind of injured yourself and are able to go to work and what have you. And usually it's because there's a fear of either A, missing out on money, B, getting fired or racking up some sort of like point system where they then do fire you. C, probably some hardcore work ethic mixed in with there. But let me lay this on you and see if your mind doesn't change. Let's say you're not feeling very good one day and you could go to work, but you're really not feeling good. And it's like, man, I really don't want to. And then you realize you have $10 million in the bank. Would you go to work? Because the NFL guys go to work. They have a contract. Most of them have a contract where if they're legitimately injured, they still get paid. They're going to get a game check. And most of those guys are legitimately hurt, playing with broken fingers, broken ribs. One guy was playing with a broken leg for a lot of this year for the Colts, Daniel Jones. Then he blew out his Achilles and he's done. He blew out his Achilles while having a broke leg. Now, obviously, it wasn't snapped in half, but the dude had a broken fucking leg and was out there. And that dude got a rookie contract that was unreal. And I can almost guarantee you he has a lot of that money still laying around. He's out there playing with a broken leg. Are you going to work with a broken leg if you have millions of dollars in the bank? I didn't think so. I wouldn't either. That's why NFL players are not overpaid. Okay? Then we get into another grievance I now have. It's the college football portal. I don't mind the portal. I think the portal is actually a good idea because back in the day, what would happen is a guy would go to school to play football and be like, oh, you're there to get an education, not play football. Shut the fuck up and quit lying to yourself and everyone else. That's not true. There were a lot of guys doing that. But back in the day, pre-portal, what would happen is a guy would say, hey, I'm going to go play football at Florida State. I'm going to go play for Bobby Bowden. Hell yeah, let's go play for Bobby Bowden. Let's be the Seminoles, Doak Campbell. Let's do it, right? Well, eventually, Bobby Bowden retired. Well, if you had been there just one season, you're like, well, hey, I came here to play for Coach Bowden, and Coach Bowden retired. Or if it's a different coach you went there to play for, and then they moved on to a different team, and it's like, well, hey, the agreement was I was coming here to play for this coach, or they fire him, or whatever. You were kind of stuck. You could transfer, but you had to like go down to like Division 2 so you could then play. But if you transferred from Division 1 school to another Division 1 school, you had to sit out for a full year, and it wasn't a redshirt year, so you lost a full year. With the portal, you're able to not only if it happens with some sort of like coaching scenario, or maybe somebody's just better than you and you're not going to get to play, or for whatever reason you want to leave the school, you can enter the portal and then another school can like pick you up through some sort of process, but you can go to another school. I like this idea. I have no problem with this idea. The problem I have is that apparently there is no limit to how many times you can enter the portal and go to different schools. Mix this with them getting paid, which I'm all for as well, as the college players getting paid based on the NIL, name, image, likeness. Hey, go make yours. It's fine. Again, I can hear the guys, well, you get paid by the scholarship at the school and blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. Quit lying to yourself and everyone else again. You can't have a school making millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, whatever, off of a guy's performance and not give him a cut. That's not America. That's communism. That's some sort of, that's communism. You're controlling the means of production. You're taking all of his and giving it to someone else. Fuck you. So, players should get paid. But you mix the portal with the NIL contract money. Now you have guys just jumping ship for money. Not even. I think we're back. But apparently, you can just keep doing this until you run out of like eligibility within the NCAA, which that organization needs to go away. NCAA should I don't know what they do, if I'm being honest, other than they're the house and they take cut off the rake there. But that shit needs to change. One of the great things about the new college football expanded playoff is that you have a lot more players playing on teams that have a shot that are in the playoff and have a shot at a national championship. So you have a lot more guys who didn't go to the or declare early or enter the portal early or whatever. So that's been a cool thing. There's talk in the chat of movies, and that's another grievance that I have. Movies just kind of suck. Like, I'm not in. Okay. So many of the movies, like action movies, like I'm done with the superhero stuff. I was done with the superhero shit 10 years ago, maybe longer. But everything's CGI'd. Like Avatar just is retarded. I who if you're going to watch Avatar, you should not be allowed to vote. I'm sorry. Sorry. It's just I've never seen the first Avatar. Like I totally get that back in the day, Jim Cameron was making a movie with these specialized cameras for like 3D televisions and this new like readily available flat screen technology and all of this. Like I totally got it at the time. Still didn't care to see the movie. I'm not really that into it. It is what it is. Just wasn't for me. Fine with that. Jim Cameron, great director, shitty politics. Get in line, right? But movies today are just like CGI'd garbage where you don't even need CGI. Like, is there a movie that's been made in the last 10 years, maybe even longer, in which you just need a guy to drive a car, go at a high rate of speed, fishtail around a corner, maybe do some other stuff, in a car chase scene or something like that that hasn't been CGI'd? You watch like Gymkhana on YouTube, which yes is back with Travis Pastrana in the newest Gymkhana video. That dude is driving his ass off. It's shot great. It looks fantastic, and he is balls to the wall in that Subaru Brat, like super rally car, and it is cool as shit. Why does it take some just like hoonigan cowboys to figure out how to do this? Is this just like a lost art that Hollywood doesn't have? I'll give it up to Quentin Tarantino. He likes to have everything be real and drive a real car. It's why I like Death Proof, even though so many people hated that movie Death Proof, and it's been over 10 years ago. But that was people driving cars at a high rate of speed, and another guy driving a car with a camera on it to catch it. Badass. And with today's, like, with the drone technology and all the drone shots that are out there, you should be able to do a car chase scene that was so badass. And like the small, like, action cameras that do great video, you should be able to film a car chase scene or scenes or movie that involves just car chases that is just mind-blowing, that is just awesome. But they don't do it. They don't do it. And movies now suck. They're terrible. They're almost completely unwatchable. And for some reason, we don't have comedies anymore. I mean, I know Netflix does some comedies and lower budget stuff, but like, a good buddy comedy, a good like, what happened to the comedy movies? Our only hope here is like Shane Gillis and crew going to the big screen. Because say what you want about the show Tires, which I think is hilarious, like, there's some good stuff in there. There's stuff in there that can be built into a script, that can be a movie. He's got enough guys around him that like him, that are in the know. Like, I'm really why is there not a modern day kind of like a Step Brothers type movie or something like that? Like, just completely irreverent, off the wall. Like, has there been a good comedy? And, oh, but there's good horror. I guess there is good horror movies. That's fine. And I'm glad to see horror kind of have its like day in the sun again. But like everything's like, oh, we got to have a suspense with twists and turns and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, or you could just make a comedy that's funny. I mean, I know it's hard to be funny, but like, why are we just remaking all of these? Like, it's just, even if a movie's not a traditional true remake, you're still remaking something that's already been done. Like, we don't need the third black actress of the, like, Little Mermaid, which is, by the way, was a live-action mermaid movie. Why you would do that with any actress, I don't understand. Like, I, I I don't get it. I literally don't understand it. Like, why not just, do the modern sort of tale that, you know, resonates with the kids today, that then 20 and 30 and 40 years down the road, they're going to be like, when you mention it, they're like, they just have this beautiful thought of whatever movie. But no, you have to just try to like ruin one. It's like, why don't you remake The Wizard of Oz, retards? Idiots. I don't know. Running out of shit here. That's another thing that really bothers me is like the celebrity podcasts. Why do celebrities think that anyone wants to hear from them? I mean, seriously. No one cares what James Marsden thinks about like literally anything. I thought it was funny a few years ago that Jeremy Piven started a podcast, and it may still be going. Who the fuck knows? But like, I don't find Jeremy Piven interesting. He's a good actor, but I've never thought, man, what does Jeremy Piven think about world politics? And then you hear what he thinks about world politics or like, foreign policy, and you're like, wow, you should get back on the set. Anyway, well, got through all the topics. Happy Festivus to everyone. And by the way, I should have brought this out earlier. This didn't just start yesterday. My admiration of Festivus. I have the Frank Costanza Festivus toy, doll, whatever you want to call it. You see the pole, Kruger? That's the man, the myth, the legend, one Frank Costanza, the inventor of Festivus. Probably should have dusted this off before showing it on camera. But yes, happy Festivus to everyone. Hope you enjoyed this airing of Grievances. And hopefully, I'm still doing this in a year, and we can do the second annual airing of Grievances. I don't know, the Friday after Christmas, I guess is what we'll just do it, assuming I'm doing it on the same day. But anyway, it's been fun. Thanks for everybody hanging out in the chat, mixing it up in there. You guys are the best, the absolute fucking best. But all right, till next time. Hope everybody had a good Christmas. Hope everybody has a good New Year. I guess I will see you in the next year. Interesting. Do that thing you did when you were a kid and before you left school on Christmas break. You'd go, oh, I'll see you next year. But hey, see you next year. Stay safe, everybody.